It's that time again, friends. The days are getting shorter and it's starting to get a little cooler out, and that means two things. One, fall is fast approaching, and two, a bunch of new Apple hardware is coming too. Apple is putting on another show in California to show off these devices in just a few weeks, but we thought we'd take a minute to break down what you should expect to see and when you'll be able to buy all of it. As usual for these big September events, expect the iPhone, or iPhones plural, to be the stars of the show. This year though, Apple seems ready to ditch the classic iPhone look almost entirely in favor of a trio of new devices with all-screen designs. We're in the middle of what some call an S year, so changes to the standard iPhone X should be pretty modest. Expect a newer, faster A-series chipset, an improved dual camera, and up to 512 gigs of storage, if you're willing to pay, that is. Otherwise, that stainless steel body and that 5.8-inch OLED screen will likely remain unchanged. People are more excited about the big iPhone X, the one with the 6.5-inch display. It'll have the same internals as the smaller iPhone, with probably a bit more RAM, so the big draw here is really the screen and what it allows you to do. Bloomberg reports that this phone's standout feature will be the ability to display information from certain apps in multiple panes when you hold the phone sideways. Rumors also suggested this would be the year that Apple Pencil support finally comes to the iPhone, but famed analyst Ming-Chi Kuo recently downplayed those rumors, so we're inclined to agree with him. New to the mix this year is a cheaper model with the same iPhone X inspired design and an LCD screen. Apple is new to cheap versions of smartphones. Just look at the iPhone 5C and SE if you don't believe me. Unlike those other low-cost phones though, this one is big. Its screen is 6.1 inches, making it the biggest cheap phone the company has ever made. Apple's trying to give it an extra dose of appeal with a handful of new colors too. Reports suggest we'll see blue, red, and orange models in addition to the usual space gray and silver. Beyond that, we're also fairly sure it's going to come with a single rear camera to cut down on the price. Really, the biggest question left is when it'll actually go on sale. While the more traditional iPhone Xs should start shipping in September, we might see this cheaper model on store shelves in October. It's a safe bet a new version of the Apple Watch will get its share of the limelight in a few weeks too. If all the reports hold up, the Series 4, or whatever it's called, will feature a larger screen, though that doesn't mean the watch's bodies will get significantly bigger. Sources have also told Fast Company that the watch's physical buttons might actually be replaced by solid-state components that sort of haptically buzz when you press them. It's a fine idea, especially since it makes the watch's body more water-resistant, but these faux buttons aren't without their problems. Phones like HTC's U12 Plus tried something similar, and our experience has been a mixed bag at best. And what about new iPads? Well, they're definitely coming. Reports of new iPad Pros with thinner bezels running around bigger displays are so persistent, we'd be shocked if they didn't happen this year. We're just not convinced we're going to see them on site at Apple's events. These presentations are long enough as they are, you know? There's a solid chance we'll fully see these updated iPads a little later in the year, along with maybe some updated AirPods if we're lucky. It's also possible we'll get our first glimpse at some new Macs, including a new laptop with a 13-inch Retina display that Bloomberg says is a follow-up to the long-running MacBook Air line. It's a device people have been clamoring for, but we're not convinced we'll get to spend time with this one at the show either. Ditto for the rumored Mac Mini refresh, a roughly $500 machine that has apparently been reconfigured with a focus on professional users. Given how packed this Apple event is already going to be, we probably won't get much more than a peek at some non-final units on display before these machines go on sale later this year.